we started watching this new docuseries on Disney Plus called Taylor Swift: End of an Era. And it is basically a behind-the-scenes documentary about the Eras Tour.
Yeah.
It is, especially, I think, a 6-episode run, and they've released 2 of the 6. And so this one basically covers the kind of ideation, first couple of legs of the tour, and then revamping the tour after, I think, the first Asian run to incorporate a new album's worth of material that was done completely in secret.
Yeah.
And people have their whatever critiques about Taylor Swift. I'm not really interested in that part of the conversation. It's just the things that I noticed from the show. And granted, she's got final say on that. And so they're only going to show the things that she wants us to see or whatever.
No.
Whatever.
But that's part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that really opened my eyes is that, like, at the end of the day, Taylor Swift's a band leader.
Right.
And granted, like, the stakes are way higher, the budget's astronomical, but what I saw was one of us. Mm-hmm. And the only difference between her and us is that she's got the resources that we don't.
Right. Right.
But it would be very easy to think about a production of that size and think that the person holding the microphone on stage has the least amount of things on their plate, because there's an entire village of people,
right,
traveling in this circus that are in charge of every little piece in detail of the show outside of what she's doing.
Yeah.
And what I found in this is that that's not the case with her operation. She has a say, and she has her fingers in everything from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. And
so, like, you would think that, okay, well, the choreography is being handled by the choreographers. Well, no, she's at the end of the day has to be the one that does it. And, she jokes about the fact she's not a great dancer, but she's got to feel comfortable doing the things that she's doing and hiring the right people to help kind of convey whatever it is that she's trying to convey. And a part of that is she hired a non-tour choreographer for this tour. Most of them you would hire a dancer who had done this kind of stuff before, who would be in charge of all of these things. Instead, she hired a lady named Mandy Moore, not the pop star.
Not that Mandy Moore.
Yeah, not the one from, Tangled. Is that the one she was in? She was Rapunzel in that one?
Is that who she
I
was?
think I'm right.
Okay.
Mandy Moore did the choreography for La La Land, and if you've never seen that movie, it's tremendous. But she came from a TV and film background, and she did that intentionally because she wanted to she wanted the choreography to do something different. She wanted to have it be an extension of the storytelling component of the songs and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So in that, she made a decision that was going to affect everything down the line, but it overall made this kind of unique presentation that wouldn't otherwise be there.
Yeah.
And she went into band rehearsals and she's calling the hits. Like, she's going, and then the band's going to do boom on the one. Like, she is super involved in all of these things. She doesn't have an MD that's like, you take care of this, and then they come in and they tell you how the show. No, that's not how she runs her show.
Yeah.
She's the one calling the shots. So as far as what a band leader does, there's a few things that, like, I think are kind of universal, and things that we as band leaders could learn from her. And maybe that'll be the title of this, what we could learn from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Parentheses, it's not what you think. Because that's the YouTube clickbait, thing that we all do.
Number 4 will shock you.
Yeah. So first thing is that she hires the right people.
Yeah.
The first scene of the first episode is the basically like the dancers and her band huddling up at the last date of that show. It was in Vancouver at the end of 2024. And she's like, we just played for 10 million people in person. And to think about that and how insane that is for a tour, it was like 250 plus stadium dates.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the way that she described it, she's like, everybody kind of thinks about this as like this pop culture moment, and that it was just kind of like a series of events that kind of fell into place. She's like, you have been on stage with me for the past year and a half. You know that not a scintilla of this is because of chance. It's because you guys are the best at what you do, and there's nobody better in the industry doing this than you guys. And you went in and you put in the absolute best of your work, and that's why this was successful. And so it was a really interesting dichotomy, because as I was just saying, like she's got a lot of say in things. But what I was seeing is that she defers when she needs to, and she steps in when she needs to. Yeah. And the mark of a good leader is the wisdom of knowing when to do each of those things.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I think we all struggle with, mostly because we don't have the luxury of deferring necessarily in our world as much.
Well, that, and the stakes demand a certain level of leadership.
Sure.
That's distinctly above what most of us are doing over in the corner of the bar.
Right. And one of the things she said was like, every time I did a tour, I was thinking about the audience. And again, she considers the audience a lot. And it's a part of, the way that she approaches things. And she's like, at the end of every show, I'm always worrying about, like, did we give them the show that equates to the amount of money they had to save up or, spend to be here? She's like, one of the greatest things about this tour is that I never worry about that, because she just knew.
Yeah.
And there was like an intention about spoiling the audience. We're going to give you 3.5 hours of this.
Yeah.
Every single night. We're not skimping on anything. We're going to play songs off of every album, and we're going to have, crazy musical moments and production that like you've never seen before, and all of these effects and stuff that like have never been done. And in that, she was like, in order to pull this off, I can't, like, you have to be the absolute best at what you do, bar none. And as a result of that, she's able to do things that are seemingly impossible. So part of the thing is that in the second episode, halfway through this tour, she put a record out that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
And then immediately worked it into the tour. So they had like some downtime between legs. I think it was the European tour, the Asian tour, and then they had to add an entire chunk to the show that they'd already done like 100 of them at that point.
Right.
So this thing was baked in. They had the muscle memory. Everything was like on rails. It was like easy. And then they were like, okay, we're adding this chunk. It's all new choreography, all new stage operation, all new video work, all new whatever. And we're going to reorder the blocks because they're doing them in album blocks. So she wrote all the music, recorded an album in total secrecy, then rehearsed, built, and then executed the tour in the middle of a tour.
Yeah.
And one particular sticking point is that they did this at the last Wembley date before they kicked into this whole thing. They added a song that Florence Henderson from Florence and the Machines co-wrote. And she was able to do one date with them, and they built an entire stage operation to this song. So all new choreography. I don't know if you saw the stage, but it's LED panels everywhere, including the floor that they walk on. And big segments of the stage rise and fall. There are these lifts underneath.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's trap doors where people can come up, and then there's stuff that goes up and down. And for this one date, because Florence was only there for one show, they built this entire operation to do once and never again.
Wow.
And like, there's this one point where like they're all on this row of platforms, and it's like undulating like a wave. And they had 2 days to figure this out. And they couldn't rehearse it because nobody was supposed to know about it. And they were doing it in Wembley. Wembley is an open air stadium. So you can't play it through the PA.
Right.
Because there's people everywhere. It had to be in total secrecy. It's mind-blowing what they were able to pull off.
It's amazing.
It was also really funny to see Florence Henderson, who's, a very big star in her own right, walk into the machine that is, no pun intended, a tour like that and go, holy shit. Like,
yeah, because none of that is the Florence and the Machine vibe.
She's like, choreography? What?
Yeah, right.
I get in like a flowy dress and I kind of like do this.
Yeah.
I don't do choreography. I don't have to hit marks.
Right.
And she's like, if I don't hit a mark, I fall in a hole in the stage.
That's right.
So it's imperative that I figure this out.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting stuff. So she defers when she needs to, steps in when she needs to. But like in that case, she was like, I have to trust these people to make sure that the video looks rad and that the stage looks rad because I can't do it. So these people are going to do it. And they've got 2 days to do it. And I know that they can.
Yeah.
And she had things to say. Like she totally changed the choreography as they were doing it. She was like, because she saw what the stage was doing and what the dancers were doing. She was like, if we are on the ground while that's happening behind us, nobody will see it. Right. So we need to be up there with them. And so the choreographer's like, okay, we're gonna wrap all this up. I gotta reorder this stuff, and then we'll revisit this, tomorrow. And a part of that is that she knows her strengths and she knows her weaknesses. So she figured out like, okay, these are the things that I can accomplish as a guitar player, as a piano player, as a dancer, as a vocalist. And she's very intentional. And this is, I think, a thing that I do as well. Like, I don't put a product out that I don't feel confident in executing flawlessly.
Sure.
Now, I may not execute it flawlessly, but I'm not going to push myself outside of my ability level at in a live performance. I'll do all of that behind the scenes. A part of the reason why people think I am good at all is because I only present things that I know that I can crush.
Right.
So I'm not going to, try and play a solo that's beyond my skill level. I'm just not going to half-ass something and throw it out there.
Right.
I'm not going to sing a song that's outside of my range. I'm not going to do those things because I want to make sure that I can be confident in what I'm doing because that confidence is projected to the audience as we're performing,
For sure.
And she does the same thing. She knows what she can do and she knows what she can't do. And a part of that is like she prepped. So 6 months before they even started rehearsals, she was like working with a trainer to build up her endurance. And listen, 3.5 hours every night.
Yeah. I've seen the videos of her singing on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Beyonce thing. I learned that from back then. That's how she got good at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate running more than anything. So the last thing I want to do is sing while run.
Right.
Because I suck at that, and then like I'm gonna draw attention to it by being loud. No thanks. In relating to that, she's very good at curating an experience. If you talk to anybody who went to one of those shows, they'll say that like there was a particular vibe to those concerts that is unlike anything that they've ever been to.
Yes.
And a lot of it had to do with what the composition of the audience and, the overall curation or layout of everything really lent itself to this experience that it was singular.
Yes.
There's not going to be another event like this because I can't think of another artist who could go that big.
Yeah.
At this level currently. I mean, I'm sure somebody else will come along, but as far as like pop stars with such a deep roster of music, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, and such penetration in the whole zeitgeist.
Yeah. And there's no way that she's not going to be able to top this. And I don't think and I think she knew that. I think she was like, I think I'm in a good spot. Like, part of this whole thing was that, she hadn't toured because of COVID and a bunch of other things. And so there was this really heavy demand for this product. And so she wanted to really deliver it. So I think she was like, okay, I'm the right age. My body is in the right shape. I have enough wisdom and experience to like handle these things. So we're just going to go for it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a way where she's like, okay, next time we're going to do 4 hours.
Right.
Which is like, it's not going to happen.
No.
I think she's like, all right, we're going to do it as big as we possibly can under the guise that it may never be this big ever after this.
Sure. Yeah. And attempting to be bigger would be desperation.
Yeah. Also, I would say it's dangerous.
Yeah. Right.
Because I cannot imagine doing a show that hard at that level for that long.
Yeah.
It's just, it's insanity. But the one thing that I think, and I'll land the plane on this one, she's a leader. Like,
yeah,
she's a boss. She thinks about everybody from the top of the call sheet to the person sweeping the floors after the show's over. And it shows. She's super intentional. I saw her do like multiple like pep talks with her band, with her dancers, with the road crew, with the sound crew, that was a big like news story that she gave all of the truck drivers on that tour $100,000 bonuses.
Yeah.
And that was just, and apparently I learned this from the show, those bonuses came at the end of every leg of the tour. So it wasn't, they got a $100,000 bonus at the end of the tour. They got those bonuses at the end of every leg, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
They said something like $197 million in bonuses she pushed out.
It's good.
And you can say, there's the cynic in me is like, yeah, well, I mean, the tour grossed $4 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course she would. But by doing that, she did a number of things. She empowered her people to have this financial security that they wouldn't otherwise have. It builds loyalty on a level that is like unparalleled.
For sure.
Every single person got a handwritten note every time one of those went out. She was doing like the thing with like where you melt with the wax seal and stuff. Like she really she went to the effort and she did it for everybody. Again, top of the call sheet to the bottom. Every single person got one handwritten from her every single time. She's like, I love bonus day. So it was like a thing that they were doing over and over. And there was a particular part, they were talking about apparently in Vienna, there was a terrorist attack that was thwarted. And
like around her show.
Yeah. And feeling the responsibility around that. And then there was a situation where like some kids were like, there was like a knife attack at like a dance school. And it was like around a Taylor themed dance, whatever. And every night of that Wembley run, she was meeting personally with the parents of these kids. Like, and I mean, that's like unfathomable, but she was like, nobody else, I have to do this. Nobody else can do this but me.
Right.
And so like seeing a person that like, a part of the reason why a lot of people think that they want to get rich and famous is that they can shirk responsibility. They can pay it down to somebody else. But I saw over and over in these 2 episodes that she took ownership of everything and took responsibility for everything. There was never a moment where she shirked responsibility or made excuses or whatever. It was just like, she understood the gravity of what she was doing and owned it. And it takes a diabolical level of responsibility, and you can call it ego or narcissism or whatever, but like that is nearly superhuman level.
Well, to be a public figure at her level comes with, I mean, you could ignore it if you wanted, probably, but you wouldn't stay a public figure at that level for very long. Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it is you own all of the things that accrue around your name, even if they weren't, even if you had nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
The people who do that and do it well and do it right, stay.
Yep.
And the ones who don't.
Yeah, it was like, it is a fascinating deal. I know you haven't seen any of them. I highly recommend you
I haven't.
you look
I'm gonna
into
have
it.
to check it out. Yeah.
And there's 4 more of these episodes. Like I'm stoked. I mean, I love any of these things just because it's all the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm like,
it's the
I
best.
wonder what
right?
they're using for this. And like I found out that I had seen some videos and stuff for like when they're walking on the LED stage that like there's this stuff going on underneath, and I was like, so is that pre-recorded? And they're tracking it based on like the pre-recorded, like is that pre-mapped? And then finding out that it's not, that it's actually live, reactionary, pressure based or whatever. It's just like, and so I'm spending a lot of time going, how did they do that? Or what is that again? There's a lot of that going on. Lots of scenes of LED walls with like the mapping squares and stuff on them. Just that's the kind of stuff that I'm fascinated by.
Yeah, no, I love those things. There was a documentary, I don't know, a year or two ago that was Paul McCartney with Rick Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
Playing stems from Beatles stuff.
Yeah.
It was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's just I love any sort of like gear thing, behind the scenes thing. I did pick up that like her bass player plays Dingwall basses, and those things are rad. And
Cool.
like, yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I was like, oh wait, yeah, no, those are like $5,000. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, awesome.
We were talking about Dingwalls last week. Hey, Dingwall,
Yes.
send us some free basses.
Yeah, really, we did try this out.
I know you guys are really hurting for good
That's
press.
right.
I don't know.
That's right. Well, we can market them good for you.
Yes. So if you haven't checked it out, absolutely check it out. Or wait till they're all out and watch, binge them all. Like I said, they're about an hour each. But yeah, it's rad. And, whether you like Taylor Swift or you hate her guts, I think there's something that you can learn from all of it.
Cool.